During an interview this week with conservative pundit, radio host, and writer Hugh Hewitt, Donald Trump was asked point blank, will you support the 2024 Republican presidential nominee if that nominee is not you? And Trump responded by saying he's going to stick to the comments that he made in 2016. So what he said in 2016 applies to his run in 2024. And what he said in 2016 was that, sure, I'll support the Republican nominee unless I believe the process has been unfair, in which case I will take my supporters and run a third-party campaign. That is what he said in 2016. He says this year that what he said in 16 is applicable to 24. So basically, Donald Trump answered the question of will you support the eventual Republican nominee by saying maybe, maybe not. And if not, I will sabotage the Republican Party in order to help the Democratic Party. Because let's be real, Donald Trump doesn't have to come out and say he's going to support the Democrats. But running a third-party campaign with all your little MAGA followers is 100% helping the Democrats. That is the only thing that would do. You do not have enough support, especially up against an actual Republican nominee, to secure the presidency if you ran third party. You're not going to get the Democrats either. So what you do is you split the Republican vote, and it doesn't matter how it's split. I'm not saying it's going to be a 50-50. It could be a 90-10 split, and it would still be enough to catapult the Democrats into a fairly easy victory in 2024. But that is Trump's strategy. So the big question is, what does he view as the process not being fair? I think we know exactly what he means. If you start to see the Republican Party apparatus starting to get behind a different candidate that's not Trump, he's going to say it's rigged. When you see the big money that has already abandoned Trump start to line up behind some of these other candidates who are going to be jumping in very soon, he's going to say that it's rigged. The big money has spoken. They control the party. They're picking these people. I couldn't stand a chance against that kind of machine. So he'll view that as unfair and possibly launch a third-party bid. There's a dozen similar scenarios where if one candidate starts to gain momentum, Trump will claim it's unfair, potentially launching a third-party presidential run. Now, also, after we figure out what he thinks is fair or unfair, we have to assess whether or not he's even being honest, right? Let's be real here. Trump has said a lot of things like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and everybody just forgets about it, and he forgets about it, and it never happens. Do I think he would waste his time and energy just to screw over the Republican Party, give President Biden 4 more years in office, or whoever the Democratic nominee may be, because Biden still hasn't officially said he is definitely running? Who knows, right? He is unpredictable. He could do something incredibly stupid, or he could just pout about it for the remainder of his life like he will the 2020 election. Those are the possibilities, but any of them aren't going to work out well for Donald Trump or the Republican Party. Because if he is not the nominee, even if he doesn't run third party, you're going to end up with a lot of those MAGA hat wearing lunatics out there that are not going to go and vote. And the Republican Party is going to have to fight really hard to overcome those voters who are going to sit out because they're a part of the cult of Trump. So the Republicans are the ones with an uphill battle at this point. And the X factor is going to be what Trump decides to do if he doesn't win that nomination, because he could easily just kneecap that party and give Democrats the easiest victory they've ever secured. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.